my name is Nikki. I am a self taught guide to clarity in self enjoyment and accepting of oneself. Some of the basic blueprints to our lives are maybe not chewed up, not processed. Kind of like some of our processed food that a lot of Americans consume, oils and like a starchy, man-made noodles and things that don't always fully process. Also, like living in a paper plate society, using disposable silverware, and knowing that some things we will never see again. I appreciate you being here today. This is a new view of myself to myself. Formerly, I have been clearly someone in a place of repair and have very clearly used my words to sort of open up this very undiagnosed window of reality. So, I'm going to get started here. I believe that some of what we do as humans has more of an effect on others than we always consciously know. And because of that, I have broken down layers of communication in society and in personal development so that some people who maybe thought they were on board can get on board, and not only on board with clarity, but on board with life itself. One of the deepest strategies that I have used to find a new sense of self is removing the labels. And, grab a pen. I have made some of these vision boards myself. This has been something that has helped me change. For an example, not just using like old magazines, but writing down some of the changes that you've endured and adding them as an addition to yourself and inducing change while also connecting with an outside media source to see that there is a new ground that can be built, like a half step, or like a like a new best friend, somewhere to go that is something that you can trust, something that is always there for you. And so be sure to realize that some things we never hear. That, like part of how I've gotten here is that I don't necessarily adhere to numbers. I find that a very high percentage of percentages are made up. And clearly that does help jar the thoughts, but in reality, like there's not a census on some certain things. And even in censuses can be inaccurate. And so those are the beginning things that we need to know, is just realizing that sometimes removing the labels and dropping the numbers is going to be a basic beginning to finding that some of the noise is there in the background, but might be more important than the date on the calendar. Like, it's my birthday, like in 5 days, and you may have had a more fun time on some random, fill in the blank. You went to a pumpkin patch and visited, and it was so fun that, like, you may have been preparing to go to the bar on your birthday, but that wasn't near as fun as the thing that was not planned. And same thing goes for some of the most grasping realities. Is some of the most important things that we hold with us are not planned. And those are the things that really sit with us. And that's what I'm, like, this is important stuff to carry with you. It's tools for your toolbox. Your toolbox. Maybe if you want to make a vision board, maybe draw a picture of your toolbox. Maybe your toolbox looks more like a jewelry box. Maybe your box of tools has headphones that hold the box on, like some of the things that we recollect are so simple that it's way more important than anything else that I've said. Like, part of it being, you may not realize anything else that I've said right now other than a pair of headphones holding my toolbox. That's the handle to my toolbox, like that may be the only thing that you can think of right now. And that's great. Part of that is allowing that to be part of what you do carry with you. Like, you may think, oh, I like her top. You may remember my top. You may think of what is above my bed. You may notice my heater. But fact of the matter is, what are you going to take with you? And I think that part of it is a lot of us are projectors. A lot of us project in our own mind based on what we see. And that's not the case for everybody. Some people are visualizers. Like, I didn't plan the toolbox headphone thing. Like, that just showed up right there. And, don't be surprised if you see a piece of my artwork and it's got exactly what I'm talking about right now. And a new piece of artwork. And so, in bringing clarity and letting go of the noise and being in the present and letting go of what we know, let go of what you know, because you already know. Let go of what you know. Learn something new. Part of developing an acceptance and clarity is basic. Reporting to yourself, I remember this. And I will allow this to make a difference in where I am. Expressive behavior, like some people, I don't have children, but people who have children, their minds are functioning a little bit different because they have a reason to be, not that we don't all have a reason to, let go and revive, but there really is a very small understanding to what really gratifies us. So in finding clarity in your vision and finding what looks and feels clear to you starts with removing the junk. It starts with taking away to the background what you already know, let go of what you know, surrendering to your toolbox, writing it down, even if it's just a small note or a really horrible drawing of whatever that you're thinking of. Whatever that it is. Just, so your job after this is to draw one thing, a doodle, draw something amazing, and cut it out. Cut it out and add one word or 2 words from this video and put the 2 together on your refrigerator. If you don't have any magnets, then glue it or tape it to an envelope and, put it somewhere. And then the next thing is to give it to somebody, because whenever you let go of something after you've processed it, you think, oh, I wish I still had that. But here's the thing. A lot of what we do has less to do with what we have than what that we communicate. Nonverbal communication and gesture communication and keeping in my own lane communication. You follow? Try not to let that settle either. There's not anything heavy in this assignment. It's just, you carry it from here to your table, or, draw it out on your little doodle pad on your phone. Type a word. Post it. Send it to somebody. Give the paper to somebody. And just forget it. So, let go of what we know. We carry our toolbox. And it can be something down the road that we talk about, making vision boards and seeing that we can redevelop where that we were and become more conscious as humans. There's a lot of work to be done, and one of my fortes is using my words, and I never could find somewhere that it would explain these things to me. How do I become more mindful? You could have sent me a pile of books in the mail and I would have never read them, because I just don't learn that way. And everyone learns differently. So this is a new activity to kind of think about, like what is important to you, and saying if clarity is important, bring that to the foreground. If you want to be more creative, write about being creative. Do a little doodle and set yourself free for the day. That is your assignment, and should this go well, I will continue to make these. Please like, share, and please, I love you. Have a wonderful day.